Hi everyone, it's Monday, November 21st, and this is your video for tonight, but this is only for periods 1 and 2 math. So if you are for periods 3 and 5, feel free to continue watching, but we've already done this. So periods 1 and 2, your homework is complete page 8 and complete page 14, which is just multiple choice. So back on page 8, says name that property. So what you're going to do is find the property for each example that matches what the example shows. So let's start with the commutative property in general. So this property right here. That means that you switch around the order of either addition or multiplication problems. So I'm just going to find one example of that in here. So I'm looking for when it started with either addition, you switched the order of the items. So here's an example of the commutative property. So I'm just going to put a C right here. Notice how it started with x plus y equals y plus x. Commutative means you switch the order of the items for addition or the order of the items for multiplication. Next is the associative property. That just means you have changed where the parentheses are around the items, but the order of the items in the problem do not change. So I'm going to find an example of that, and I see right here 9 times y times 10 equals 9 times y times 10. The only thing that changed was where the parentheses were placed. Next one is called the distributive property. This one's the most important property of all of them in terms of being used all over the place. So what you're looking for is, here's an example right here. You're looking for an item, a number, or a variable, and what is next to it is going to be a parentheses with 2 items. And then on the other side, you may or may not see parentheses. So we went over the distributive property in class with that example with the iris and the rose garden. That was similar to this one. The 4 gets distributed to the y, and the 4 gets distributed to the 2. Next is the identity properties, which is additive and multiplicative. Additive identity just means you're adding 0 to something to make it still equal 0. So let's find something where it looks like we're adding 0. I'm looking around. Okay, this one right here is a little tricky. If you work inside the parentheses, 6 plus 5 is 11. 11 minus 11 is 0. So it turns into x plus 0 equals x, which is additive identity. So you're looking for something that starts with a number or a variable, add 0 equals 0. Multiplicative identity, MI, is when you multiply something by 1, the number still equals itself. So let's see if we can find one of those. I think I put 1 on here, so we might just have to look for it. There it is. If you subtract in here, you get 1. So that means x times 1 equals x. So that's multiplicative identity. And the 0 property means if you multiply something times 0, you get 0. So if you subtract 8 minus 8, you get 0. Anything times 0 will always equal 0. So that's the 0 property. So complete this page, fill in the rest of these, find what example matches what property at the top. Switching over to page 14. This is multiple choice. So you're going to pick essentially A, B, or C for each one that shows the distributive property. I would also like for you to work on your foldable tonight, please, so that over the Thanksgiving break, you can have something to look at, to study from. So that's your homework tonight. So finish page 8 and page 14 and work on your foldable. And we will be checking this tomorrow in class. Thanks. Have a good night. This is the end of the video.